Hey, how's it going? Jeahn here with Luma University, and today I'm going to be creating our own custom surfaces for product photography and stuff like that, and it's actually something that I recommend doing all the time. Now, in the past, I have done this for multiple different types of surfaces, but wood is really one of those that really shines when you do it yourself. One, because it's cost effective, and two, because real surfaces actually do a lot better as far as performance in the real world than false surfaces or synthetic or printed surfaces. Now, there are a time and place for synthetic surfaces, usually when it comes to having something that's really lightweight and that can be easily cleaned up. And if you're not too worried about getting super close and showing the detail of the printing. But a big problem with synthetic surfaces is that they're really reflective. Even the really nice ones aren't going to be quite as nice as the real deal. And so what's cool about making your own custom ones is you can design them and change them however you want into the future. They're made out of real material and it's cheaper, and the results are better than most false surfaces. But that's not to say false surfaces are bad. They have their place, but I just almost never use them. I think what would be beneficial, because they are more reflective, would be reflective surfaces like maybe countertops or like those tile backstops for water or something like that. Maybe you would use a surface for that because it's not real easy to DIY a real tile backdrop, potentially. But for this type of surface, I'm going to be doing this all by myself, and we're going to talk about exactly how much it costs and how easy it is to do. So one really cool thing about wood surfaces or flat surfaces is that you can finish both sides differently so that you have two colors out of one. So with this particular one, I'm gonna stain this side like a nice mahogany red to use with like whiskey shots and stuff like that, things that need like a rich, nice color to it, wood grain texture. And then the other side, I'm going to make a barn aged wood look, which is actually really fun. And there's a cool technique I'm excited to show you and try for myself. But what you're gonna need to follow along is a slab of wood. I picked this one up at Menards. You could probably find stuff like this at almost any lumber store, but they're, I think it's pine, I'm not too sure, but it's multiple bits of wood glued together, and it's pretty sturdy. I think I spent like 20 bucks on this, and it's ready to rock. It's sanded, it's put together. I don't have to do any fabricating. It's just ready to go. And then I bought this stain sample, which should be plenty to do all of this and tons more. This one, I got kind of like the nicest colors. It's not really a mahogany, it's a American chestnut. But you can go with whatever color you want. And then you just want some plastic or rubber gloves, some neoprene gloves, something that you can protect your fingers with. And then you want to be in a well-ventilated area. I have the windows open in my studio right now, so the draft is going through. And then you'll need some paper towels. Of course, I'll need to figure out how to open this. I don't have a paint can opener, so I'm gonna go do that real quick. But before you open it, you want to shake it up really good. So that's all you need to get started. Let's go ahead and get cracking. All right, I'm back. Found me a flat screwdriver. It's actually got a hook on it because this has been used to open paint cans before. So this is perfect. It's kind of an old paint can opener converted. Oh, shoot. I need to shake it real good. Just beat the lid back on and let's give it a good shake. Now also, I have a drop cloth beneath my feet because I am working indoors. I do not want to risk getting the stain on anything but the wood. I've got my DIY studio blocks underneath there, so I can just repaint them if I need to. And hopefully I don't get stain on my clothes because I'm not exactly wearing my work clothes right now. Let's go ahead and give this a real good shake. And then depending on the finish, we might do one coat, we might do two coats, but we'll see exactly how it goes. Okay, let's have a look. And this isn't super precise work. It doesn't really matter too much, but I do want to make it nice and evenly coated so that it looks good. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's like a rich chocolatey color. So that it looks nice and evenly blended across. I might even do kind of like darker shades on the outside to make it like a vignette, but we'll see, maybe not. I'll just probably do that with lighting. Never mind. All right, so this is a technique that my dad taught me, and it's actually really simple. And instead of using like a brush or anything crazy like that, just get yourself some paper towels. I like to use either one full square sheet or two of these half sheets. And then all you have to do is roll it up like this. So actually I'm gonna fold it one more time. So fold it into a strip like this and then roll it up. Nice and tight. There we go. And that gives you a really awesome little dipping and staining end. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna be staining just 3 edges of this thing because I want the other 3 edges to be a different color. And the reason I can do 3 edges is because when you're doing photography, your camera can only see 3 edges at a time anyway. So if I do these 3 edges or whatever, these 3 edges in this stain, then I can do the other edges and flip it around to get whatever look that I want. So let's go ahead and dip. And let's see how this goes on. I'm gonna start maybe in a corner. Oh yeah, that looks nice. And I think I'm going to stain this in the direction of the wood grain. Like so. And we may have to do a couple of coats depending how dark we want it to look, but you definitely don't want the stain to sit for too long in one spot or it's going to continue to get darker. So what you want to do is have a second paper towel ready that's not dipped so that you can kind of rub the stain in and get the excess off so that it doesn't continue to deepen the stain. So that is another tip. And it also helps you kind of blend the edges of each stroke together. And I'm not going to worry about clear coating this at all because I don't really want it to be shiny. In photography, matte surfaces are definitely the best in most cases because you want the product to stand off, and when you have a shiny surface, it just gets specular and draws the attention to the surface rather than your subject. So that's why I won't be doing any sort of gloss or protective coat on this. You could do like a matte finish gloss, but you know, I don't really see the point. I can always do my own touch-ups later, but this is starting to look really good. Oh yeah, that's pretty sweet. It looks really good. I'm gonna go ahead and get this edge and this edge for you guys. Okay, yeah, that looks amazing. Perfect. So I'm gonna set this stuff down. So when you have this done, you're at this point, basically your paper towel starts to become too soft and kind of disintegrated to work well. So you just want to get a new wrap, and then we'll apply the second coat. Easy as that. I think I might not have to apply it again on the edges, especially this one because it's very porous. So we'll see how the shades turn out, but yeah, I'm really stoked with it. So I think that looks really good. Of course, I can always add more coats later down the road if I decide I want it darker, but for now, I really like this. It's great. And yeah, super, super cheap to do. So that's really it for this side. Let's go ahead and hop over to the next one. Okay, so that side is done. I've put it over in a different space where it's safe and can dry. It should take about a day to finish drying before I can apply this coat to the next side. So what I've done is I've just swapped this out to my old wooden surface, which I actually have a video on how I made it. If you look at my old whiskey shot, I made this with a different technique of actually burning the surface, which is kind of cool. So you can check that out if you want to. But now we're gonna talk about the gray side, or the aged wood side, which is actually really easy to do, but it does take some time. So this will be sitting overnight until tomorrow, until I can finish recording this video. But you need some steel wool. I got some really, really thin stuff. This is grade 0, so it's super fine. That way it dissolves better. And then you need a little container, really trashy one that you don't mind destroying, and you need some white vinegar. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this open, and all you do to make this old aged wood effect is pour some vinegar in a container, and then some steel wool. And I've never done this before, so I'm not sure if there are techniques to make it work better, but I would assume if you kind of pull it apart to kind of let the liquid really saturate it, it'll do better. And I'm not sure how much we need, but yeah, you just do this, let it sit for, they say a few hours to a couple of days. And again, this steel wool, the vinegar, really, really cheap. You can get it anywhere. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna get plenty in here, and I'm gonna kind of push it down into the vinegar and then top it off and let it soak. And we'll see how this turns out. This may be way too much. I don't know. I'm going by the seat of my pants for this project. I like to do that with my DIY stuff because I'm so precise with my lighting that I need a little bit of a way to kind of let loose and let things go. But that's pretty much it. I will see you tomorrow.
The next day.
Okay, so it's been about a day. Forgot to put my hat on. But it's been about 1 day, and this has sat overnight, and this has had time to cure, so I should be able to flip it over now. And for this, the application is going to be a bit different. We're not going to use a paper towel, we'll just use a brush. But we don't want to over darken it, so the same thing kind of applies. I'll have a paper towel on the ready just to kind of make sure it's not over darkening. But this takes some time. It's a chemical reaction, so it doesn't just color on like a paint would or a stain. You actually spread it on, and then it takes time to do the chemical reaction to turn the wood gray. So I don't have a place to set this. I'm going to set it off camera and we're going to get started. All right, got my hat on, and we can't forget the gloves this time. Okay, I'm going to flip this over, and that's the side I'm going to paint. So I'm going to set it this way so that I can paint it on this side. All right, here we go. They say to apply generously, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, let's see what that does. I don't know if I did it right, but I guess we'll just have to wait and tell.
A few minutes later.
Okay, so I have realized, and I just did a little bit of Googling, which I should have done before, but this is pine wood, I believe, and it doesn't have a lot of natural tannins in the wood, which you need to kind of make this effect more, I guess, work better. It doesn't mean I can't do it to this wood. It is darkening, but they suggested what I would do is leave my solution, the steel wool and vinegar, to sit for a lot longer, like a week, and then come back and try it again because it'll be a stronger solution and the chemical reaction will be stronger. So I'm gonna try that. Hopefully that will make the difference. It's still, again, darkening, but once this dries out, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the other side. But yeah, I'm still excited. I learned a lot doing this, and we will revisit that in the future, but I'm really, really stoked with how this side turned out. We've got a really cool whiskey shoot coming up for Professional Photographers of America, so definitely stick around for that. But yeah, if you have any questions about the process, let me know. And I really like doing this DIY stuff. I know a lot of you follow me for lighting and things, but part of the studio and making your own unique work is creating things like this. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you make your own. Definitely tag me at Jeahn Laffitte, and be sure to subscribe and follow for more. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah, this is Jeahn with Luma University. I'll see you next time.